In a world drowning in noise and chaos, where distractions are constant and demands never ending, the boldest act of defiance is to turn inward and rebuild yourself. This isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about crafting a life that aligns with your truest essence. To focus on yourself isn't selfish. It's a radical declaration of self-worth. Every moment spent reconnecting with who you are isn't merely an act of self-improvement. It's a manifesto for a deeper, more transformative personal revolution. Ask yourself, how often do you pause to truly connect with your inner self? Here's the truth. The foundation of every relationship, success, and moment of happiness in life stems from how you treat yourself. As the saying goes, the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. So, what if you could rebuild that relationship in just 90 days? This is not about creating a brand new life. It's about reconnecting with your authentic self. Imagine your life as a structure, strong in parts, but weathered by time and challenges. What if you could redesign it with Buddhist principles as your blueprint and mindfulness as your toolkit? Through mental clarity, emotional balance, physical well-being, and spiritual growth, you can realign your life into something truly transformative. In this video, we'll explore 10 timeless Buddhist principles that provide actionable, practical steps to rebuild yourself. You'll learn to overcome stress, refocus your mind, and rediscover your purpose. Think of this journey as reclaiming your narrative, not to escape life's challenges, but to thrive in them. Ready to take the first step toward rebuilding yourself? Let's begin. Principle 1. Awareness as the foundation of growth. Imagine a house with a cracked foundation. No matter how beautifully you paint the walls, the cracks will grow, threatening everything built upon it. This is your life without self-awareness, the foundation upon which all growth stands. The Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of mindfulness, the ability to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. This principle, called awareness as the foundation of growth, is the starting point for rebuilding yourself. In a chaotic world, we often run on autopilot, letting external pressures dictate our paths. But ask yourself, how often do I pause to truly understand my inner self? Buddha once said, "What we think, we become." Consider this for a moment. Are your current thoughts building you up, or are they quietly pulling you down? The journey begins with becoming aware of the narratives you tell yourself daily. Start small. Dedicate 5 minutes every morning to journaling. Write down your thoughts, feelings, and the events that shape your day. Notice recurring patterns. Are there moments when frustration flares up? Or days when a small accomplishment feels like a mountain conquered? Through this practice, you begin to map your mind, identifying what serves you and what drains you. Self-awareness isn't about perfection, but honesty. A young entrepreneur once shared his story of relentless burnout, striving for success but feeling hollow inside. One day, he decided to write down every thought racing through his mind. He discovered an underlying fear of failure stemming from childhood experiences. That simple act of awareness marked the beginning of his transformation. The modern world is filled with distractions that numb us: social media, work stress, and endless to-do lists. These distractions cloud the mind and distance us from our true selves. Mindfulness journaling cuts through this fog, offering clarity. It teaches us to see emotions like waves, rising and falling, impermanent and non-threatening. In these 90 days, commit to observing your inner world. Create space to notice your triggers, understand your values, and redefine your purpose. Replace self-criticism with curiosity and compassion. Each insight gained is a brick in the new foundation of your life. As you progress, you'll notice a transformation. Less stress, sharper focus, and an unshakable sense of calm. You'll begin to see life not as a series of uncontrollable events, but as an opportunity to build, grow, and thrive. Take the first step today. Write down 3 thoughts clouding your mind and 1 positive affirmation to counter them. With every mindful action, you align closer to the life you deserve, one rooted in awareness, clarity, and strength. 2. The art of non-attachment. Picture this. You're holding a handful of sand, clutching it tightly to keep it from slipping away. But the harder you squeeze, the faster it escapes. Life often works the same way. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. This principle, the art of non-attachment, isn't about renouncing all desires, but learning to let go of clinging to outcomes, relationships, and possessions that we believe define us. Consider this question. What am I holding on to so tightly that it's causing me pain? Often, we attach our happiness to fragile things, promotions, relationships, or material achievements. But what happens when those things are taken away? Does your world crumble? There's a story of a young monk who lost his only bowl in a storm. At first, he was distraught, but then he realized his sorrow stemmed not from the loss, but from his attachment to the bowl. In that moment, he embraced gratitude for what he still had: a roof over his head, a path to walk, and peace within. Modern life tempts us to anchor our self-worth in fleeting achievements. The pressure to succeed and the fear of failure can trap us in a cycle of stress and dissatisfaction. Practicing non-attachment shifts the focus from what you lack to what you already have. A powerful way to embrace this is through daily gratitude. Each evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. Not grand achievements, but the small joys that often go unnoticed. A kind word, a warm meal, or the beauty of a sunset. Gratitude grounds you in the present, teaching your mind to value the now instead of fearing the unknown. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you release the need to control outcomes. A young professional, overwhelmed by the fear of failing her startup, learned this the hard way. She began to focus on her efforts rather than obsessing over results. With this shift, her stress diminished, and she discovered a new sense of freedom. In these 90 days, challenge yourself to let go of one attachment, whether it's a fear, a grudge, or even an over-reliance on material things. Replace it with gratitude and curiosity. Ask yourself, if I release this, what new possibilities will I create? As you practice non-attachment, you'll feel lighter, freer, and more resilient. Life's uncertainties will no longer terrify you. Instead, they'll become invitations to grow and explore. In letting go, you'll find not loss, but liberation. The space to rebuild yourself into someone stronger, wiser, and at peace. 3. Embrace impermanence. Life is like a flowing river, constant, ever-changing, and impossible to grasp. Yet so many of us try to cling to its waters, only to feel overwhelmed when they slip through our fingers. The Buddhist principle of embracing impermanence teaches us a powerful truth. Everything in life is transient. Change is not an enemy. It is the very nature of existence. Think about a time when you faced loss, a job, a relationship, or even a cherished dream. The pain felt unbearable, didn't it? But as time passed, you adjusted, learned, and grew. This is the essence of impermanence. Nothing stays the same, not even our deepest sorrows. As the Buddha said, everything that has a beginning has an ending. Make your peace with that, and all will be well. In today's world, change often feels like a threat. Job instability, shifting relationships, or an unpredictable future can create a cloud of anxiety. But what if, instead of fearing change, you embraced it as a chance to evolve? The first step is to shift your mindset. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this moment of transition? One practical way to internalize impermanence is through meditation. Set aside 10 minutes each day to reflect on the temporary nature of life. Close your eyes, focus on your breath, and visualize a tree shedding its leaves in autumn. Each leaf represents a moment, a joy, a loss, or a challenge, falling away to make room for something new. This practice helps you see struggles not as endings, but as openings for transformation. A young professional once shared her story of being laid off unexpectedly. Initially, she was consumed by fear and anger, but as she meditated on impermanence, she began to see the loss as an opportunity to reassess her career path. Within months, she pursued a passion she had long ignored, leading to greater fulfillment than she ever imagined. Impermanence doesn't mean detachment from life. It means living fully in each moment, knowing it will pass. When you accept that the storm will fade, you also recognize that the sun will not shine forever. Both are essential and both are fleeting. Over the next 90 days, practice embracing impermanence. When faced with a challenge, pause and remind yourself, this too shall pass. Focus not on what is ending, but on what is beginning. With each moment of acceptance, you'll build resilience, reduce anxiety, and discover the quiet strength within you. In the flow of impermanence, you'll find your true power, the ability to rebuild and thrive no matter what life brings. 4. The power of right intention. Every action begins with a thought, a spark of intention that shapes the course of your day, your relationships, and ultimately, your life. The Buddha taught the principle of right intention as part of the Eightfold Path, urging us to align our thoughts and actions with compassion, wisdom, and purpose. But how often do we pause to ask ourselves, what is the intention behind what I'm doing? Imagine starting your day rushing through tasks, consumed by stress and expectations. Without clarity of purpose, you're like a boat drifting aimlessly in the ocean. Now, picture this instead. Each morning, you take a moment to decide how you want to approach the day. Not just what you want to achieve, but how you want to feel and act. This small shift in perspective can transform your life. A young professional shared how this principle helped her escape the grip of burnout. Each morning, she would sit quietly for 5 minutes, reflecting on her intentions. Today, she'd tell herself, I will approach my work with patience and treat everyone with kindness, including myself. Over time, she noticed a profound change, not in her workload, but in her sense of control and peace. Setting intentions doesn't have to be complex. Begin each day by identifying one value you want to embody: kindness, gratitude, or resilience. Write it down or say it aloud. Today, I choose to focus on growth rather than perfection. This simple act anchors your mind and aligns your energy with purposeful living. Modern life is filled with distractions that pull us in every direction. Social media, work demands, and external validation can easily cloud our intentions, leaving us reactive instead of proactive. But with the practice of right intention, you reclaim your power. You act not out of habit or fear, but from a place of clarity and compassion. Buddha said, what you think, you create. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you become. Right intention bridges your thoughts and actions, ensuring that what you create aligns with your highest self. Over the next 90 days, challenge yourself to set an intention every morning. Reflect on it throughout the day, especially in moments of stress or doubt. With each intentional action, you'll notice a shift, not just in your outcomes, but in your inner peace. Purposeful living isn't about perfection, it's about progress, one mindful choice at a time. By mastering the power of right intention, You'll build a life guided by wisdom, compassion, and a profound sense of purpose. This is how you rebuild, not just your circumstances, but your spirit. 5. Balance through the middle path. Imagine walking a tightrope, holding a pole for balance. Lean too far to one side, and you'll fall. Lean too far to the other, and the same fate awaits. This is life without balance. The Buddha's teaching of the middle path reminds us that extremes, whether indulgence or deprivation, lead to suffering. True peace lies in balance. Many of us swing between extremes. We dive headfirst into work, chasing goals with relentless energy, only to burn out and crash. Or we indulge in distractions, avoiding responsibility until anxiety takes over. But what if, instead of oscillating between these poles, you found the steady center? The middle path isn't about mediocrity, it's about harmony. A young entrepreneur once shared how she lived in extremes, working 16-hour days, fueled by caffeine and ambition, until her body forced her to stop. After discovering the middle path, she began structuring her day differently. She balanced her work with moments of mindfulness and allowed herself time to recharge. The result? Greater productivity and a calmer mind. Start by designing a daily schedule that prioritizes balance. Dedicate focused hours to work, but also set aside time for self-care, exercise, and meaningful connections. For example, work with intention for 3 hours, then take a 20-minute walk to reset. Read for growth, but also relax with something light-hearted. Balance doesn't just happen, it's created through deliberate choices. The modern world glorifies extremes, overwork, overindulgence, or rigid discipline. But extremes rob us of joy and health. Burnout isn't a badge of honor, and indulgence isn't true rest. By embracing balance, you create a sustainable rhythm that nurtures your mind, body, and soul. Buddha's words resonate deeply here. To enjoy good health, to bring true happiness to one's family, and to bring peace to all, one must first discipline and control one's own mind. The middle path teaches us this discipline, not as a restriction, but as freedom from the chaos of imbalance. Over the next 90 days, commit to living in balance. Identify one area of your life where you lean toward an extreme and gently bring it toward equilibrium. Maybe it's spending more time on hobbies or setting boundaries at work. Reflect daily. Am I moving through life with harmony, or am I leaning too far? With each balanced step, you'll feel lighter, stronger, and more in control. This is the essence of the middle path, creating a life of stability where you can rebuild yourself with clarity, resilience, and grace. Balance is not just the key to well-being, it is the key to freedom. 6. Mindfulness in action. How often do we move through life on autopilot, letting moments pass by unnoticed? We scroll mindlessly, eat while distracted, and rush through tasks without truly engaging. Yet, the Buddhist principle of mindfulness in action reminds us to awaken from this fog. To rebuild yourself, you must first live fully in the present, moment by moment. Consider the story of a young man who found himself overwhelmed by life. His mind was constantly racing, thinking about work deadlines while eating, worrying about the future while spending time with loved ones. One day, he began a simple practice, mindful walking. With each step, he focused on the sensation of his feet touching the ground, the sound of the wind, the warmth of the sun. For the first time in years, he felt a sense of calm and clarity. Mindfulness isn't reserved for meditation cushions or retreat centers. It's a way of being that transforms ordinary tasks into extraordinary experiences. Begin with something as simple as eating. Instead of rushing through a meal, pause. Notice the colors, textures, and flavors. Chew slowly and savor each bite. Or try mindful walking. Feel the rhythm of your steps, the air on your skin, and the ground beneath you. The modern world thrives on distraction. Notifications, endless to-do lists, and the pressure to multitask pull us away from the present. But this constant fragmentation drains our energy and leaves us feeling unfulfilled. Mindfulness is the antidote. It grounds you, helping you focus on what truly matters and restoring your emotional balance. Buddha taught, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." This teaching is a gift, a reminder that life unfolds only in the now. The more you immerse yourself in the present, the more vibrant and meaningful your experiences become. Over the next 90 days, make mindfulness a daily habit. Choose one activity, eating, walking, or even washing dishes, and commit to doing it mindfully. When distractions arise, gently bring your focus back to the task at hand. Each moment of presence strengthens your ability to remain centered, no matter how chaotic life becomes. As you practice mindfulness in action, you'll notice profound changes. Stress fades, clarity deepens, and simple joys become vivid again. This principle isn't just about living in the moment, it's about reclaiming your life. When you are mindful, you are fully alive. And in this state of presence, you have the power to rebuild yourself, step by deliberate step. 7. Compassion for self and others. Imagine a friend comes to you in pain, burdened by mistakes or failure. What do you say to them? Likely, your words are kind and reassuring. You're only human, you're doing your best. Now ask yourself, do you extend the same compassion to yourself when you stumble? The Buddhist principle of compassion for self and others teaches that true kindness starts within. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Treating yourself with gentleness is not selfish, but essential. Without it, your capacity to connect with and care for others is diminished. A struggling artist once shared how self-criticism paralyzed her creativity. Every painting was not good enough, every effort met with harsh judgment. Her breakthrough came when she began a daily affirmation practice. Each morning, she'd look in the mirror and say, "I am worthy of growth, and I forgive my imperfections." Over time, this shift in self-talk reignited her passion, and she created her most inspired work. Compassion isn't just an internal practice, it's a bridge to others. Start by doing small acts of kindness, smile at a stranger, lend an ear to a friend, or write a note of gratitude. These actions, rooted in compassion, not only uplift others, but also reflect back on you. Kindness is a cycle, and each gesture strengthens the bonds of humanity. In modern life, where perfection is glorified, self-compassion often takes a back seat. We are told to strive harder, achieve more, and never falter. But this relentless pressure leads to burnout, isolation, and a feeling of never being enough. Practicing compassion counters this by reminding us of our shared humanity. The Buddha said, "If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete." This wisdom emphasizes the need to nurture your own heart before extending it to the world. When you approach yourself with kindness, you dismantle the barriers of shame and self-doubt that hold you back. Over the next 90 days, commit to practicing self-compassion daily. Replace self-critical thoughts with affirmations like, "I am growing, and that is enough." When you catch yourself judging others, pause and consider their struggles. Small changes, speaking kindly to yourself, showing patience with others, can ripple outward to create a more compassionate world. As you cultivate compassion, both inward and outward, you'll find it transforms your relationships, your self-esteem, and your sense of purpose. It's not just a principle, it's a profound way to rebuild yourself from the inside out, one kind thought and one kind action at a time. 8. The discipline of right effort. Imagine a sculptor working on a block of marble. With each deliberate stroke, the masterpiece begins to take shape, not through hurried, forceful strikes, nor through neglect, but through steady, intentional effort. This is the essence of right effort, a Buddhist principle that teaches us to balance persistence with mindfulness. Too often, we swing between two extremes. We either push ourselves to exhaustion or procrastinate, overwhelmed by the enormity of our goals. Both lead to frustration and stagnation. But transformation isn't about sudden leaps. It's about consistent, meaningful steps. Right effort is the discipline to move forward steadily without burning out. A young professional once shared her struggle with self-improvement. She'd set massive goals: start a business, run a marathon, meditate daily. But after a few weeks, the weight of these ambitions crushed her motivation. Then she embraced right effort. She broke her goals into small, achievable actions. 5 minutes of meditation, a 10-minute jog, one email to a potential client. Progress became manageable, and her consistency brought her closer to her dreams than ever before. To practice right effort, begin by breaking down your larger goals. Want to write a book? Start with a page a day. Hoping to rebuild your fitness? Begin with a short walk. Celebrate each small win. It reinforces your commitment and builds momentum. Remember, consistent effort compounds over time, leading to extraordinary outcomes. Modern life often glorifies the grind. Long hours, endless to-do lists, and a race to be the best. But this approach is unsustainable. Burnout leaves us depleted and uninspired. On the flip side, avoiding effort altogether leaves us unfulfilled, stuck in the same patterns. Right effort invites us to find the balance, where progress feels both purposeful and manageable. Buddha's words remind us, "A jug fills drop by drop." This simple yet profound truth underscores the importance of persistence. Even the smallest, consistent efforts lead to great transformation. Trust in the process, and the results will follow. Over the next 90 days, commit to practicing right effort. Choose one area of your life you wish to rebuild and break it into small, actionable steps. Write them down. Each day, complete one step, no matter how minor. At the end of each week, reflect on your progress and acknowledge your growth. As you cultivate this discipline, you'll find that your goals, once overwhelming, are suddenly within reach. Right effort doesn't just help you achieve, it helps you transform. It's the steady, purposeful path that turns dreams into reality, drop by drop, day by day. 9. Silence as a source of strength. In a world filled with endless noise, emails, social media notifications, conversations, and responsibilities, when was the last time you truly sat in silence? Not the silence of scrolling through your phone or zoning out in front of a screen, but the kind of silence where the only sound is the rhythm of your breath. This silence is where transformation begins. The Buddhist principle of silence as a source of strength teaches that within stillness lies clarity. In moments of quiet, your mind stops racing and a deeper wisdom emerges. But this kind of silence is rare in modern life. We fill every gap with distraction, fearing what we might find in the stillness. Yet, this avoidance keeps us disconnected from ourselves, our purpose, and our peace. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur overwhelmed by decision fatigue. She was constantly bombarded with advice, opinions, and options, leaving her paralyzed. One day, she decided to spend 15 minutes each morning in complete silence. No phone, no agenda, just sitting with her thoughts. At first, it was uncomfortable, but over time, she began to notice patterns in her thinking. Solutions to problems surfaced naturally. Clarity replaced chaos. That simple practice became her most powerful tool for growth and focus. Silence is not empty, it's full of answers. When you step away from the noise, you create space for your inner voice to be heard. Silence allows your mind to process emotions, untangle thoughts, and find balance. It's in these moments of stillness that you reconnect with your true self. In today's fast-paced world, silence is a rarity. We're inundated with information, news feeds, notifications, endless conversations. This constant input leads to mental clutter and exhaustion. Practicing silence is like hitting the reset button for your mind. It reduces overwhelm, improves focus, and helps you navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Buddha said, "Silence is an empty space. Space is the home of the awakened mind." This wisdom reminds us that silence is not a void to fear, but a sanctuary to embrace. In silence, you find strength, resilience, and the answers you've been seeking. Over the next 90 days, dedicate 10 to 15 minutes each day to silence. Whether through meditation, sitting in nature, or simply turning off distractions, give yourself the gift of stillness. In this quiet space, observe your thoughts, release mental clutter, and allow clarity to emerge. You'll find that silence is not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of peace. It's a powerful tool to rebuild yourself, one quiet moment at a time. 10. Accepting the power of change. Imagine you're holding a seed in your hand. It's small, unassuming, and you might doubt its potential. Yet, when planted in the right conditions, it transforms into something beautiful. The seed's journey is a metaphor for our personal growth. It requires change, discomfort, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. This is the power of accepting the power of change. Change is an inevitable force, yet many of us resist it. We cling to comfort, to the familiar, fearing that any shift will uproot our sense of stability. But growth doesn't happen without change. In fact, it thrives on it. Personal evolution is fueled by our ability to embrace the new, the unfamiliar, and the uncertain. Change, though often challenging, is a sign of progress. Consider the story of a young woman who had spent years in a job she didn't love. Every day was a struggle, but the idea of leaving felt daunting. Then, one day, an opportunity for a new career arose. It meant stepping into the unknown, and it terrified her. But instead of resisting, she decided to trust the process and embrace the change. Over time, she discovered that the change wasn't a threat. It was her path to fulfillment. That one decision to trust in the power of change opened doors she never imagined. Buddhism teaches that the key to growth is to surrender to the flow of life, to trust that change is not something to fear, but something to welcome. When we let go of the need to control, we are free, says Buddha. These words encourage us to shift our perspective. Instead of viewing change as a burden, we can see it as an opportunity, a chance to evolve, to adapt, and to become a better version of ourselves. One powerful way to embrace change is by reflecting on the transformations you've already experienced. Write a list of positive changes from your past, times when things seemed uncertain, but they led to growth. These reminders will help you reframe your relationship with change, turning fear into trust. In the modern world, uncertainty is a constant, and fear of the unknown can paralyze us. But when we learn to accept change as an essential part of our journey, we become more adaptable and resilient. We stop fearing the unknown and instead begin to see it as a canvas for new possibilities. Over the next 90 days, reflect on your own experiences with change. Embrace the discomfort of stepping into the unknown and trust that it is leading you to the next chapter of your life. Change is not just inevitable, it is the key to your evolution. Let it empower you and watch how your life transforms. Bonus principle: rebuilding through inner strength. Life can sometimes feel like a relentless storm, full of challenges, setbacks, and moments where it seems like everything is falling apart. But what if I told you that the most powerful tool for transformation isn't found in external circumstances, but within you? The principle of rebuilding through inner strength teaches us that true transformation begins from the inside out. And this quiet inner resilience is the most reliable resource we have when life tests us. Inner strength isn't about physical endurance or pushing through adversity with sheer willpower. It's about knowing your worth, connecting with your authentic self, and trusting in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. Many people look for strength in external validation, success, or approval from others. But the greatest source of power lies in the belief that you are enough, just as you are, and that you can create change within yourself. Think about a time when you felt defeated or overwhelmed, maybe even doubted your abilities. Perhaps it was during a career setback or a difficult personal challenge. Now, think about how you survived that moment. Not because you found an easy solution or someone handed you an answer, but because there was something inside of you that kept going. That quiet voice, that sense of knowing, is your inner strength. It's the foundation on which real change is built. In Buddhism, the teachings remind us that the true nature of strength comes from within. Buddha once said, "You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." This powerful message teaches us to look inward, to recognize our intrinsic worth, and to cultivate resilience through self-compassion. One simple way to tap into this inner strength is by practicing daily affirmations. Each morning, tell yourself, "I am capable of rebuilding my life and thriving." Speak these words with conviction, because the act of affirming your own potential sends a powerful signal to your mind that you are in control of your growth. This consistency will gradually reframe your mindset, shifting from a place of doubt to one of unwavering belief. The more you align with your true self and acknowledge your inner power, the more you will be able to withstand life's challenges. Inner strength is not loud or flashy. It's the quiet confidence that you can weather any storm because you know who you are and trust in your ability to rebuild. In the next 90 days, commit to nurturing your inner strength. Trust in your own resilience. Know that no matter what happens externally, your internal power is the most reliable tool you have to rebuild your life from the inside out. This is where true transformation begins. In the quiet stillness of self-awareness, transformation begins. Each principle we've explored is not just a lesson, but a doorway, a gateway to rediscovering the unshakable strength within you. In Buddhism, the path to self-rebuilding is not about becoming someone new, but shedding layers that obscure your true essence. As the Buddha said, "Your work is to discover your world, and then, with all your heart, give yourself to it." The teachings of mindfulness, non-attachment, and compassion remind us that life's challenges are not barriers, but invitations to grow. Like a tree that bends in the storm, yet remains rooted, you too can cultivate resilience. Embrace impermanence, for it is only through change that we bloom into our fullest potential. When you align with your inner truth, life's turbulence becomes an opportunity to thrive rather than survive. Zen philosophy teaches us that the obstacle is the path. Every setback, every doubt, every fear is not an enemy, but a teacher guiding you home to yourself. Trust the journey, be patient, and honor each small step forward. In these quiet moments of reflection and effort, you are rebuilding not just a life, but a legacy of inner peace and purpose. Who in your life needs this reminder? Share this video with them. Let this be the beginning of your transformation. like, and share this video if it resonated with you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your wisdom may inspire someone else's journey. Don't forget to subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more enlightening Buddhist insights to guide you toward a peaceful and fulfilled life.